kids?
I love making babies. I love making babies. I love having babies. I love being pregnant. I'm just a fruitful girl.
I just got a new coat still. Okay. Got a little brand new feel. Not so fast, switch blade, cut your car wheel. I'm on top, self-made, I'm the real.
What is up, tribe members? It's a late night and I'm thinking. And so when I'm thinking, I'm like, you know what? Let me share it with the girls because this is a teachable moment. I want to talk about a situation involving this beauty right here. My goodness, she is absolutely stunning. Her name is Sukihana. She's a rap girl, all right? She's a rapper, she's a mother, and she's quite clever, I've learned. I want to give a hut wisdom perspective on the situation with her and YK Osiris. Now, if I said the name wrong, please excuse me. I'm an older lady. I believe I got it right. I was about to say Y2K, but YK Osiris. I want to read something to you first. And then I want to give you a hut wisdom perspective and possibly some food that you can use. That is the purpose of this video. Now, you know I'm here for the girls. According to hut wisdom, you meet everyone where they are. When it comes to the young women, you meet them where they are with the knowledge. And then you usher them into the next phase of their life so that whatever mistakes they made in the first phase, they don't make in the second. That's our job as elders. So let me read something to you first, okay? So, of course, you know, we're inside the Return to the Divine Feminine. I'm on page 62, 63, all right? 62 is talking about reputation. Now, before you start to think anything, I want you to hear the entire video. It's short, so just stick around and listen, okay? Reputation. There is nothing more important for a woman than her reputation. Nothing is more valuable, not even her body. Her reputation will always precede her. Once she loses power over the strength in her reputation, it's nearly impossible to recover. It's important to remember that your actions, even while young, regardless of how inexperienced, how naive or ignorant, will always be a part of you. There is no escaping the trail you leave behind. The unfortunate thing for women is that the world is a rather cruel and unforgiving place. It never forgets the wrongdoing of a woman. No matter how long ago, no matter the circumstances, the past is something people find pleasure in conjuring. It is wise to protect it with your entire being. Those are my words, page 62. Return of the Divine Feminine, a definitive guide to feminine mystique, power, and seduction. I want you to hear me and where this hut wisdom is going. In this world, the elder told us that there were some absolute laws that we cannot escape. And they are going to be the way they're going to be. People are going to be who they're going to be. This young lady was at an event, working, doing her job as a hostess that evening. She's a rapper. She's a mother, and she's quite clever, I believe. I saw a couple of videos, and I thought she is acting. This is a persona. That she's using as a way to create a life. But that's another reading. Okay, that's a reading for another time. Let me stay on point here. She's at her job. She's doing a hosting gig. She's flirting. They're flirting. A rapper, young rapper by the name of YK Osiris. Let me get it right as an old lady. I was about to say Y2K. YK Osiris. He, in the first video I saw, he kissed her. He rubbed her shoulders, okay? And they were there was some flirtation going around. He rubbed his shoulders. And then the second video I saw, I completely understood her perspective. There were some tweets where she said she just wants to go away for a while. I want to give you some hut wisdom perspective here, okay? The young man in that video who had touched her in a way where he thought he got a signal that he could rub her shoulders the first time, okay? And so there was banter going back and forth. And then he gave her a kiss on the cheek the second time, all right? More banter going back and forth. And then he did something that there was no consent for. I don't see in any of the videos. and correct me if I'm wrong, but I want you to hear me before you make a decision. You know how people go to the comments before they even listen to your complete thought. Before you go to the comments, listen to my complete thought. Whatever it is that he read, up until the point where she felt uncomfortable, he's wrong. Hear me. Now, in my corporate job, I was running a manufacturing plant with over 700 employees. There was always some sort of sexual misconduct, sexual harassment case going on. Always deep in investigations, and oh my God, it takes a lot out of you. And so what I started doing during my orientations, first day of orientation, I made sure I did those orientations myself, and that I didn't allow my managers or my recruiters to do it. I did those orientations myself. And in that orientation, I said, there's a lot of people here that you're going to meet. You might even find love here. This is not a dating place. This is your workplace. You might find love, but there's something I want you to understand. At the moment, the other person does not want or feel comfortable with your advances is the moment you become wrong. Now, a lot of people don't really understand what that means, especially if you're not in HR, you don't really get it, all right? A perfect example, a guy is taking a woman home after work because she doesn't have a car and he's being nice. He's taking her home, all right? And at one point, she begins to start to like him, okay? He has a girlfriend. He's not interested. He's just being a nice guy, taking her home. What ends up happening is I get a call for a sexual harassment case. Okay? He touched me inappropriately. Now, we have to get to the bottom of whether or not there's truth and whatever, all of that stuff. And he said to me, Miss Karima, I swear to God, I've never touched that girl. I've been nice to her. What really happened is she got mad that I told her that I didn't want to have anything to do with her. It was my girl. I just was being nice, and that's it. All right? That case stayed with me for a long time because I really did believe him. But it didn't matter what I believed. You know why? Because when I submitted my report up to HR, they said, fire them both. Okay? Because in my position, we are to mitigate risks. That means make sure that there is a comfortable work environment for everyone involved. If someone does something that makes you feel uncomfortable, if it becomes inappropriate at the moment you become uncomfortable. And a lot of people don't get that. They want to weigh the scales. They want to investigate all of the, the ins and outs. Well, what time, when did he kiss her? What point did he kiss her? None of that matters. When it becomes harassment, when it becomes an issue, is when the advances become unwanted. Period, in the corporate world. If it's unwanted, it becomes harassment. If I voice that it's unwanted, it is extreme harassment and you are done for, buddy. Okay? Keep that in mind. I told y'all that long story because in this case, this young lady was at work. So me putting on my corporate hat, I am looking at a young lady who is at work. And the first advance, okay, perhaps the banter made him think that made him think that, okay, it must be okay. Second advance, third advance. As soon as she became uncomfortable is the moment his action became wrong. And I don't know if young people understand that. I tell my son this all the time, my little cousins. I try to make sure they understand. As soon as that young lady says no, she doesn't even have to say no in a corporate world. The moment she becomes uncomfortable is the moment your advances are inappropriate and wrong. You're in the wrong. Now, I read that piece to you about reputation is because in the real world, and this is what the elder tells us, it doesn't matter what we think and, our moral code, the world is going to be what they are. Instead of looking at it for what it was, which was he was wrong in his advances. He was wrong in his advances because she became uncomfortable, period. They nail her to the cross based on her past. They nail her to the cross based on the banter that went on prior to him moving forward with that third kiss. Because they're looking at the persona that she's created for herself. You cannot outrun the persona that you create for yourself. Even when the other person is wrong. Because what we do in this world is that we, the victim, we rob the victim of feeling what they felt. So although she is the victim in this position, okay, I want you to go back to page 62 of the book. And it's to explain exactly what I'm saying. No matter how long ago, and no matter the circumstances, the past is something people find pleasure in conjuring. It is wise to protect it with your entire being. Did you hear that? People find pleasure in conjuring the past. It says here in the book, page 62, they never forget your wrongdoings as a woman. It's unfortunate, but it's the truth. Do we agree with it? Absolutely not. But is it so? You know it is. How many women you know who have been wronged? But because of their position, because of their past, because of who they are, the victim is robbed of that position. It is what it is. Now, the young man did come out and he apologized, and I applaud him for that. And this is something he needs to understand, and especially because he's in the entertainment business, and all kind of women can start coming out and saying what he's done. He's not aware. But let me make him aware. Young man, once your advances become unwanted and the other person becomes uncomfortable, you are in the wrong, regardless on what happened up until that moment. Until next time, be empowered, be inspired, and be well.